Ryzeal runs it back despite the hits on the ban list and ends up winning yet another YCS. Malice still doesn't have a YCS win under its belt. Let's dive on into it, shall we? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is your host with the most, Ryzeal32 here, as my light decides to flicker like crazy. Did y'all see that? And I went darker than brighter. Anyway, destroy the ever-living boo-boo stain off of that YCS like and subscribe button so we climb even higher the 1500 ladder. I keep saying we're so close to 1500, but every time I mention it, the sub count drops, so I think I just need to shut up because we've been 5 away for like 2 weeks, and then I say something, and it drops down to 8 subs away from 1600. I really do appreciate all the love and support, though, all jokes aside. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. So we need to talk about some of the baby back BS that went on in around the semifinals and even earlier than that in this YCS. Now, the finals are actually going on right now. It's going on right now, if I could talk today, where it's Mitsurugi Ryzeal versus Fiendsmith Ryzeal. I'm past the 1 minute mark. I don't give a rat's ass who wins. I just know that some Ryzeal variant won. There was a lot of talk in the chat box with a certain player. I don't know his last name. I just know his first name. His name's Charlie. Man, was this man pissed. And he was pissed because of the fact that he kept on getting slow play warnings. And he kept on getting procedural minor error play warnings. And that's because of the fact that when he played against Steven Santoli, this Charlie dude was playing Mitsurugi Ryzeal, right? And he resolved Aramasa twice. Now, I kind of jumped into the stream midway, but I was able to kind of fill myself in based upon the chat. He must have used Aramasa to search, but then used its effect to search again on the same turn, and then Santoli drolled him, and then they went to game 2, and the judges are like, what the fuck are you doing? So there was some procedural play errors caused on Charlie's part, and he was also taking his sweet-ass time making plays. Now, a lot of people in the chat were saying Charlie's such a slow player, he's, cheating, and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, I'm not going to judge somebody. I'm going based on what I watched, what I saw, but man, let me tell you something. It is so different watching a stream and then having your butt be in that hot seat with that little headset on so that you could hear your opponent, I don't know, breathing in your ear, I guess, like some sort of fucking ASMR video, whatever those headphones are for, and like actually being there, right? Like I cannot tell you when I went to YCS Orlando how much of a wake-up call it was. Even though I only made day 2 and I just barely bubbled out of topping, I cannot tell you how much of a difference it is being in, not even in a feature match, but just making day 2, being in that chair and just clenching your cheeks knowing I got to win out at X2 and I have to play absolutely perfectly and consider every permutation of every single hand trap and combo line as I'm going through the day. Not only is it tiring, but that is stressful and it is anxiety filled. And so I'm not giving Charlie a defense because for him to be playing a combo deck with these new cards out of Alliance Insight that are legal this fucking weekend, like literally this is the weekend that they're legal, you gotta know your shit. You gotta know what plays to make, even when you're in the hot seat. It's hard, I get it, that's very difficult, but at the same time, when you see someone like him losing their cool with the judges, which I get, it's aggravating, but for him to be like, can I appeal that? Because when he did that, talking about his opponent, the Mitsurugi guy that he played in the semifinals, because when he did that, he didn't get a warning or get a slow play warning. So there was a lot of that going on, right? I get it. And then especially when the crowd cheered for Charlie and everyone in the chat box is like, the crowd is an idiot. Charlie's a slow player. He's a cheater, blah, blah, blah. It's very easy to see from the outside looking in what someone is doing. And I've had people call me for slow playing when I wasn't even intentionally trying to slow play. Like, I know this is kind of a side rant, but I just want to make this point because I want to be neutral and not just play one side, right? But I remember going to a regional here in Florida down south. Shout out to Prodigy Games. They put out great regionals. And I was playing against a guy, and he was playing like Earth Machine shit. And I was on Sprite when Sprite Hedges came out. This is Power of the Elements format. And I was really taking time to think about my plays because I'm not preparing for a table 500 dog shit deck like Earth Machine. And so when I was able to establish an OTK, I think we were close to time or in time, he goes, "Do you have any plays? Because you seem to do that kind of slow." And I'm like, the fuck? You're playing a table 500 rogue dog shit deck that craps out Apollosa by like summon number 10. You're never insulated from Nibiru. I'm sorry I took an extra 30 seconds to make my play because I don't know what your crap cards do. You know, so there's that aspect of it, right? Like no one was preparing for Earth Machine when Power of the Elements was the new set and Tier Element and Sprite were the best decks in the room. There's that aspect, right? At the same time, the number one thing I've learned from watching this stream and seeing Ryzeal still make it to the fucking finals is that we're clearly in a combo-based format. Even if a deck is mid-range like Ryzeal, even though Ryzeal itself is mid-range, when you combine it with the Mitsurugi, it's very combo-heavy. We're in a combo-heavy format. Mid-range decks are going to have a difficult time. And when you're playing a combo-heavy deck, that's going to lead to longer turn times. And that overall is not good Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, keep in mind that when we've had combo formats in the past, especially when Dragon Link was at full power and stuff, you know, the running joke was, and is going to be the running joke for this format, is that you win the die roll, you opt to go first, you show your hands to each other and compare hands. It's like, oh, you don't have any hand traps, I got full combo, I win. Let's go to the next game. Like, let's just not waste time. There's going to be that aspect. Obviously, that's not actually going to happen in a regional or something, but that's the joke, right? So combo formats are overall really disliked by the community, especially when you have something like Malice that's basically turned into Cyber Slop, where you're crapping out a Firewall Dragon and the allied Co-Talker that's an Omni Negate and all this other garbage, right? And as someone who's a mid-range player who has tried to play combo in the past and got absolutely wrongful stomped and just absolutely bolstered out of the venue, I'm a mid-range player. I'm a control player overall. I've tried playing combo, and I just my Pee Wee Herman brain cannot wrap around it. I'm always misplaying. So why am I going to play something combo heavy when I just play mid-range? Players like me are going to suffer because the best mid-range deck now, because if you're playing Ryzeal Pure, you're just screwing yourself. You're trolling yourself, really. The best mid-range deck in the room is going to be Blue Eyes. Maybe Odeon, or as Konami calls it, Tomb Keeper, which is the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life. You can maybe play something Odeon related, but if you're not going first with something like Odeon, you're going to have a hard time. Now, speaking of Odeon, we had an amazing top 32 diversity. And this is one of the great things about this format. Regenesis Kashtira made top 32. Of course, I built the deck and I started testing hands and I was bricking like it was nobody's business. But it top 32'd. It did something. Steven Santoli was the one player who topped with Crystron. If I could talk today. Played Horus Crystron. We had, of course, Malice, Ryzeal variants, whether it was Mitsurugi, Ryzeal, what have you. We had a bunch of different decks in the top 32. It wasn't just Malice and Ryzeal. We had a Primite Blue Eyes list make top 32. We had Odeon make top 32. Very diverse. You have a lot of choices. And really, this is something that makes me excited for this format because you're not forced to have to play a combo deck and lose because you're not a good combo player, right? You have many options available to you. It comes down to how you deck build and how well you prepare for the best decks in the room, that being Ryzeal, whether it's Mitsurugi, Fiendsmith, whatever, and Malice variants by extension. So you could play something like an Odeon Fiendsmith deck. Hell, you could play that deck that topped a regional where it was Kashtira, Fiendsmith, Odeon. It was 60 cards. You're going to get kicked in the nuts by Droll, but if you prepare for that accordingly, you're going to have a good time. You know, hell, the fact that Regenesis Kashtira made top 32 was shocking enough to me because the Regenesis cards are kind of bricks. And like he was playing, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm playing 3 Regenesis Archfiend, that's it. No, Homeboy was playing in the package. 3 Archfiend, 1 of the Trap, 3 of the Regenesis Rhoda, 3 of the Tora Regenesis, that's like a Dogmatica Punishment, locks you out of the extra deck, 1 of the Dragon, 1 of the Sage, 1 of the Warrior, 1 even of the Brick of the Regenesis God. Like, he was going all in with Regenesis cards. Now, there's the argument to be made that maybe you should cut back on the package, but that's beside the point, right? He was relying on the fact that people wouldn't know what the fuck the cards did, and that actually helped him until he got to the top 32, and then I guess he got absolutely cream-faced, and just, you know, he didn't draw well, or whatever the case was, right? But Ryzeal wins yet another YCS. Obviously, the finals are going on right now, but like I said, it's Mitsurugi Ryzeal and Fiendsmith Ryzeal. Fucking Ryzeal won the YCS. I'm not going to watch that. I would rather watch paint dry. So, Ryzeal is still the best deck in the room overall. Malice is a very close second. I think that if more Malice made it into the top 8 or top 4, I think that we would see Malice finally win a YCS. Don't knock Malice just because it didn't win the YCS. Malice and Ryzeal variants are still very, very good, and I personally am actually going to be main decking Droll now instead of side decking it now that Ryzeal won the YCS, because Droll is an absolute god card. And I also want to wrap this up here as well by saying Harpy's Featherstorm, if you can play it, you better play it, because that is how Charlie, despite what you think of this guy, slow playing, cheating, whatever you think of this dude, take the game for what it is. He made a Castel, he set Featherstorm, he activated the Featherstorm, and told his opponent to eat his entire ass until it resembles a California raisin. Harpy's Featherstorm is a god card this format. The TCG loves their turn skips, whether it's Floodgate, like Anti-Spell, Skill Drain, whatever, Tikaboo, Featherstorm, D-Barrier, you name it. Turn skips are good. And honestly, I'm really tempted to change my Primite Fiendsmith deck to like a Harpy style, so just because I can play Featherstorm, because that seems really broken. Guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the YCS. This format overall I think is healthy. Very combo heavy, but if you deck build correctly, you will see success. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.